fucking brilliant.
The views and opinions of this podcast are solely our own and in no way meant to offend or upset anyone. We ad-lib, paraphrase and imitate to convey reviewed content only. It's a bit of a laugh. Enjoy!
I'll be the last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiotic, just a product of a system where you're lucky just to make it.
Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for this.
The emergency channel.
I do, like many of you, appreciate the comforts of the everyday routine, the security of the familiar, the tranquility of repetition.
Bloody hell.
I enjoy them as much as any bloke. But in the spirit of commemoration,
Who's that, Mum?
whereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death or the end of some awful bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday, I thought we could mark this November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered, by taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat.
Hello everybody, welcome to Series 3, Episode 23. Already, man, of What's the Script? The quintessentially Scottish movie review / comedy podcast. We say comedy in brackets, obviously. Chris, how are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, it's fine and dandy. A wee bit cold because it's cold, but apart from that, fine.
Well, I know I'm just back for the school run with the Wains there. It's bitter out there, so it is. Bitter and nippy,
It's,
as you like to say in Scotland.
it's one of these you're wanting.
Oh, no. Do you know, you'll need to put it on properly, mate, because see when you held it up there, do you know what it looked like? You just bought yourself a mink coat.
Look at the size of that bloody rat.
Terrible amount of minks died in the making of this coat.
Stoning a bit like Cruella de Vil.
Sitting there with your mink coat and you're heating up full blast, laughing at the poppers outside. Freeze, Popper, freeze.
I've got that here, just throwing heats. Horn through the hot air at them. There you go.
I got out your window. Woof. Waff. So, mate, this was your pick. This was your pick this week, and you picked a belter. What did you pick? Tell the people.
Well, I've picked for V for Vendetta, which first time I seen it, obviously it was when it was apparently a DC Comics thing, me. So I was expecting superhero vibes and all that, but obviously watching it again and again, you kind of get the understanding it better. You know what I mean? Instead of zing pop waz and all that.
And although maybe no super, but he is definitely a hero. But reading more into it, as I did last night, I actually found out the actual kind of powers that he does have, but we'll go into that. So we will. So it was a story about Alan Moore, David Lloyd, and directed by James McTeigue, who we like. I've got a lot of time for James McTeigue, mate.
Aye.
Got a vast body of work, the man.
Aye. What a bevy of films. Aye. But I done the Raven minute. I know you like the Raven.
Aye, I done that. He also done the Matrix trilogy, the original.
Aye.
And I think Attack of the Clones, wasn't it?
Aye.
Which a lot of people don't like, but I still defend it on the fact that it's visually tremendous as a movie. So maybe the script wasn't quite as great, but visually superb. So James McTeigue, mate, great actor, great director, and obviously as you say, then he's got an absolute rake of history. Do you know what I mean? Apart from that, this film is nigh on nearly 19 years old. I can't believe that. You're looking at things now, like 2005. All right, that's not long ago. And then you do the math, and it's frightening, that.
I know, mate. I get the fear sometimes. It's like, see me see things that like 2000 and 1999 and all that, you go, oh, fuck's sake, that was about 5 years ago there.
Aye. Mate, listen, I'm only right. I'm 40, as we all know, I'm 45 years old, but I've been alive in 6 decades. and in 7 years, the 80s will have been 50 years ago. Oh, help! Who am I? Where am I? What's happening to me?
Oh, they poor mullets.
Oh, I know. Hot Tub Time Machine. That's like a period piece now. That's what I mean. Oh,
Oh, superb, man. Aye,
So-
but 19-year-old, man. Oof.
and what made you gravitate towards it, my man? Just, has that been an all-time favourite?
Aye, it became a favourite. No, I mean, like I says, first time I've seen it, I was going like, oh, I don't get this. Well, if we thinking back now, what age would I have been? About 11 or something? Something like Aliens, a bit heavy to go, yes, I get everything that this is pointing at, you see.
If you didn't, if you didn't get it at 11-year-old, mate, then that's good parenting. Know what I mean? Shielding you for the woes of the world.
I know what I mean.
However, I would suggest that even when you were 11, this was less prevalent than it is today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the day it's getting worse and worse and worse as we know, society-wise. For anybody that's never seen this, obviously the backstory is about V, right? And he's came to right the wrongs of the government, shall we say, and he's wanting to reenact what Guy Fawkes failed to do 400 years ago, bring down the kind of tyranny, really. You can't really call them a government or parliament because they're like Nazi, they're like a Third Reich, aren't they?
Aye, they've kept me power just through obviously playing all the dirty tactics, know what I mean? But they're dressed like the Nazis, know what I mean? Their wee symbols are kicking the boys off, the swastika stuff, know what I mean? But it's they're no nice people. See, another thing as well, see when British people do act like bad people, they're the worst, aren't they?
Yeah.
See it in all the films like that. Oh, I don't like that, man.
They're the best British, English, I would say, villains are the best in the world. You know, I remember there was an advert for Jaguar no long ago, and they said that it was like Mark Strong was in it, and can't remember who else. But as they don't need to shout and bawl; they just need to talk quietly and look and be stern. You're like, oh, because see in this film, although it's full of bad bastards, see Creedy,
Aye.
he's just an evil looking. He looks like he would
Aye.
just sit and pick all the hairs out your body one by one. You know what I mean?
Aye, he's special mention to that guy. What's his name? Was it Tim Piggott Smith? He's
Aye.
oh, aye, very
GPS,
sinister.
his pals.
Aye, not to be confused with PLG, but aye, he's really Gestapo, isn't he? He's not like a Heflick, but he's
Yes, he's like Hitler's right hand man. He really is. As I said, the film has got strong links to Third Reich and also kind of George Orwell's 1984, where Big Brother always watching you and people being programmed by what I'm surrounded by the new television.
aye. See, and again, I think this is why this has probably became my favourite now, because see the way the world has went now. But in this, the state is always watching. It's the state controls all the media. The state's like listening to everybody, what they're up to. Know what I mean? People of interest, if they don't toe the party line, they're taken away, cancelled. Know what I mean? It's just the way that it's so perfectly in tune with things right now. I think like as time goes on, it just becomes more and more realistic. Know what I
Never
mean?
more so than on the back of the whole COVID thing, which I'm not getting into, right, because we've all got our own opinions and our own ideas about what actually it was. No saying there was not an illness. I'm just saying the gravitas in which the world went to about it was maybe not the right thing to do, but it's like programming, and that's what it's all about in this film. So Obviously, the big stars in it are Hugo Weaving, Natalie Portman, John Hurt, Stephen Fry, and Stephen Ray. Who are all brilliant, by the way. Stephen Ray, especially, is Mr. Finch. I've got, somebody else said that. Well, I've got a lot of time for the boy. A day, he was in another, hands on the table, once again. It wouldn't be a weekly podcast was without me saying, I first seen this on film 4, was when this first got my attention. And Stephen Ray, again, in another film that I seen in film 4, was The Crying Game. It was brilliant in that. He's a great actor, but he's not done a hell of a lot, hasn't he? No?
Nah, not much. Maybe that's why he is just good in what he does. Know what I mean? Obviously, picks what he probably thinks he stings her. But you're right, mate. He's good. He's definitely good in this, man.
And Stephen Fry, I know. I just,
mate,
I think he's great.
I have got a lot of time for Stephen Fry. I mean, I was an avid QI watcher. Know what I mean? I've actually bought some of Stephen Fry's books, like Mythos and Heroes and stuff. Know what I mean? It's just, got a lot of time for the guy.
Isn't he? Guy's a sponge. Everything he's ever seen, or heard, or read, or looked at, he's Sherlock Holmes' brain, and he's just banked it in his brain library, man, and he's just so knowledgeable. Such a knowledge. There you go. There's a Star Wars reference. Aye, but QI, mate, brilliant. And I've read a couple of, I've read Lanny's autobiographies. It was years ago, and it was about how he's struggled with his sexuality and his failed suicide attempts and caught manic depressive, and he's such a interesting man. Doesn't even want to be here. I mean, he's got so much to offer the human race, but he's great and a fine actor.
Because apparently in an interview or something like that, what interested him most about this was he always wanted to be up on screen.
Back to be a snuff video.
Chase me.
Hit me, heckle me, right on the bottom. Which is Stan.
But I'd talk about, obviously Hugo Weaving is V in this. And I remember when this first came out as well, people were like, what was the point in going to get such an actor like that if you don't see his face? Know what I mean?
They didn't, to the start.
Aye.
It was actually James Purefoy was the original V for 6 weeks. But for one reason or another, which I couldn't find, he walked off.
Aye.
And they brought in.
It says apparently he says he couldn't wear the mask any longer, sort of thing, and other things were creative differences. But whatever it is,
so hard. That hurts.
I care about the art, man, but I want my face. I see this.
And by the way, good actor and all that, but I'm so glad they went with Hugo Weaving. I just can't hear anybody deliver the dialogue that he delivers. It's great. He's got so many brilliant quotes and sayings and back and forth with Edie and stuff like that just couldn't copy and paste a lot of them. So I've only got a few, which we'll cover and we'll get to. But another one of the maybe under the radar actors that doesn't get as much credit as he probably should, I think.
Aye. Oh, definitely, mate. Like, well, the Matrix films, for a start, you know what I mean? He was a standout in them. Again, like I've said many a time now, I do like my baddies.
Yeah.
But, it's just like he says, mate, it's his voice and all that. And that's the way he delivers lines and stuff. It is brilliant. Whereas, it couldn't have just been anybody, you know what I mean? Because I don't think, see the way, obviously, he puts it across and delivers it, it's better, you know what I mean, than it would be just a mad random guy.
Because he's playing the part of a man that's learned and kind of loves the arts and the kind of thespianism about him. Hugo Weaving is that. He's in it in fucking most of the films that he does. Even the way he delivers in Lord of the Rings and all that as well, you know what I mean? Aye, great. And I see Cloud Atlas. Did you ever see Cloud Atlas?
Aye.
One of my very obscure favourite films, man.
Aye.
Everybody in that's just tremendous, and he's no different. Some of the scenes you need to struggle. Is that Hugh Grant? Is that Hugh Grant? Brilliant in it and all. Anyway, getting away.
Oh,
So this is the second film in 3 weeks we've done with Natalie as well.
aye. So the flavour of the month. But aye, she's brilliant in it, I know, mate. Especially a bit after the whole torture stuff and all that. See when she's in she thinks she's in prison in one of these detention centres sort of thing. And then when she's breaking down, hyperventilating and stuff. I was like, take a breath, lassie, take a breath.
Inhale, you baldy swine that you are. Her British accent is flawless.
Aye, superb, mate. Aye, I was, again, obviously, you don't notice it really until you start doing stuff like this and you go, oh, yeah, that's fucking bang on, that. Know what I mean?
Totally. And then obviously she turns up at the bishop's house in her little outfit, which, when she rolls away from him on the bed, you need to pause it just right. Back in the day, you know what I mean? Just pause it just right, you get a nice... Anyway.
When you go to the videotape at a fucking Blockbuster, here, that bit's falling out, I can't see anything.
It's all grainy there. Aye, she's smashing. But again, it doesn't get a lot of screen time, but John Hutt, I know, he has tread the board. He's a thespian. He's been an actor for about 1 million years. He plays a part of the High Chancellor, who is basically British Hitler.
Aye,
and he also plays the part of the two body doubles of the Chancellor on the talk show as well, doesn't
he? See, that's what he says in an interview years ago as well, because apparently a lot of this was filmed in Germany.
Really?
Well, apparently. And that's what he says. It felt strange playing a Hitler-esque character in Germany. Know what I mean? And I can kind of see that like that. Aye, that's a bit shady, that.
Because even the summoning of the council and all that, when he's talking and the guys are all around that big table, it's like pure dark, innit? It's only light on their faces, and it's undertones of just being evil and skullduggery and all that, man.
Everything's negative in it. It's not a nice place to be.
So the film itself, mate, right? It had a budget of 50 to 54 million, made back very modest 134.7 million. US dollars, man. So it's not even pounds sterling, it's US dollars, which is less. No much anywhere, right enough. It's probably no far off it being the same thing. And it won 7 of the 29 nominations award-wise that it was up for as well, so that was pretty good. But I read a couple of reviews and they were absolutely scathing. Jonathan Ross's was terrible. It's almost as if he was offended by the film, man.
Aye. So yeah, again, I'm sure this was... I remember it getting spoke about in Parliament quite a bit, but I think that was
he was working for the BBC at the time, you know what I mean?
Aye, know what I mean? But it was taking a pop at really just the state, you know what I mean? Because you can see it now. Let's see the BBC. The BBC spouts one lot of pish. You know what I mean? And then it's the narrative and everybody goes, know what I mean? You're going, nah.
Because there's bits of this that I watch and I think it makes me think of The Wall. Pink Floyd, The Wall, I know. Do you know what I mean? Just with the symbols and the cronyism. And then when things are happening, who's covering it up? The media. You know what I mean? Because they're on side.
That's it. No, I mean, this is why a lot of places now, like, see in the world now, like, social media is taking a lot away from, like, big news organisations and all this stuff. Because, like, I know this is pure stupid, right? But see when it's like stuff in America and they're reporting on like a major weather, like a flood or something like that, and then it's like this woman, she's standing up to her waist in water, and the next thing a guy walks by behind her and it's up to his ankles. You know what I mean? And you're like, what's that about?
Just getting outed on a regular basis, isn't it? Like there was ones I know, immigrants coming over and dead bodies on the beach and all that, bones that have drowned, and then somebody's got a camera 30 seconds later them getting the winds back up and all that. They're all actors. Do you know what I mean?
I'm like, come on, man. It's
none here.
But that's probably why it did get slated by a lot of people, because see, probably the fact that it was based in England as well, London, and that probably rubbed people up the wrong way. But
aye, especially one of the first things that you hear in the media in the background is after the fall of the United States.
aye.
Who felled them? You know what I mean?
Aye.
Mental. But see, there's not just one plot in this. You know what I mean? There's backstory and all that kind of stuff. I mean, all right, the main plot is that V wants to reenact what Guy Fawkes couldn't. Gives them a year's warning, didn't he? Says, I'll see you here a year from now. Blah, blah, blah. I'll right the wrongs and shit. But then you get the whole backstory about Lark Hill, the St. Mary's virus, human testing for biological weapons by this British government, didn't you?
Yep.
And what Creedy's covered up, him and his posse, under the guise of fucking John Hutt.
The secret police. But there's a lot of things. Again, that's what I'm saying to you. See, the first time I watched this, I was like, you're sitting down. Oh, I'm expecting a superhero fucking thing here. Know what I mean? And you'd all these subplots, know what I mean, or build to the main event sort of thing, and you're like that. But see when I was watching this last night, I was like, what you may call it, DiCaprio, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like that.
You know, for the first time, probably I was like that. Watching the fight scenes, watching them punch people, and them going flying 100 meters through the walls and all that. You're like,
Aye.
what is these powers?
Oh,
I never ever looked it up before, and that's when I got the full kind of backstory that he was part of this like test experiment, but he was immune to most things, and he developed antibodies and
mutations and stuff,
human strength and mutation, mate. Aye,
reflexes and stuff like that. But I was just seeing all that stuff come out, man. It was like, like this government released this thing to show the people and all that they need us and all that. And then you get that obviously see later in the film as well, where it's John Hutt, the Supreme Chancellor, goes, I want the world to know how close we are to fucking the apocalypse sort of thing. We need to show the people they need us. And then you start seeing it. Flood, drought, a flood and a drought at the same time. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And you're like that.
Aye, exactly, mate. Which makes you obviously question your own reality and the fact that everything you're seeing on the news, getting told what's happening, is averting away from another 10 things that you should know what's happening. Do you know what I mean? The real bloody truth.
Aye. I just thought it was, watching it, man, I was like, I can't let, soon what is it they say, when real life imitates art or something? I went, fucking hell, man. That's just so on the nose.
Aye. Which makes you think, about the people that did critique this poorly back in the day were just, they couldn't critique it the way they wanted to, or they were told to critique it badly, like Jonathan Ross, who I've not got a lot of time for anymore after reading that, actually. Because, wispy bastard. So the premises of that was that although dozens of political prisoners died during experimentation, an amnesiac in cell V, which is obviously V, developed mutated immunities and disfigurements, as well as physical enhancements, and eventually destroyed Lark Hill during his escape. So it was him that blew it up, set fire to it and all that, wasn't it?
Aye, getting revenge on the bad people. But
however, it was told to the public that it was a terrorist attack, which again was the government and the television in cahoots to cover up what they were doing.
Yep, that's it. Aye, create a wee disaster sort of thing, and we'll swoop in and save everybody, and we'll be the saviours. Again, just lulling everybody into stuff, isn't it? Oh, here, we're looking out for you. No, I mean, don't criticise us. We love you. Give your tax money.
We're better than you. You know it. Aye, because when V goes viral at the start, right, and he taps into the news feed and he starts telling the public, listen, a year for today, I'm going to do the damage and all that because you're getting lied to, blah, blah. You just see all the families just starting to sit around the television. But see, when the news are talking, and Plethoro, is that his name? Plethero's? He's like the most powerful guy on telly. Everything he says is people listen to him. But even the people that are listening to him going, bollocks. They know when the telly's lying. They're just under tyranny. And they've got, every house has got a photo of the Chancellor up, man, like Saddam Hussein. You know what I mean?
Again, mate, it's just, it's weird. It's like, see, like things nowadays, you can't criticise a political party or something a political party does, or you're then the other side. Know what I mean? Even though you don't particularly agree with the other side either. Know what I mean? You can't be through the middle and take both bits of the best worlds. But it's,
you must actively support this thing or this movement of the year. You better support it. You better show it, or else what?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Also get against this like that. No, I'm just trying not to get kicked out of my house, live in poverty.
Exactly. Because then you've got people like us that the more you tell you have to do something, the more I just don't want to do it.
Aye.
No, you're going to make me actively protest against what you're fucking saying, even though I don't particularly agree with it. You know what I mean? But what's the word? Is it totalitarianism? Try saying that on a Monday with your teeth just glued in. Oh dear.
Aye. But it's the public knows. But see, when he's saying that part as well, you can see that it's starting to inspire a lot of people. And it's like, see when it's like, we've let them take care, like guide our lives and all that, and all he says was just take a wee bit of your freedoms at a time and all this stuff, you know what I mean? And it's kind of, again, going back to the whole COVID thing, it was kind of scary how it paralleled it, you know what I mean? People were willing to go, shut down my work, you know what I mean? Change how I live my life and all that, as long as you're doing the right thing for me, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, his speech is huge, isn't it? His publication's huge, but the thing that resonates was somewhere along the line, you let fear get a hold before reality, you know what I mean? Which is just what you've said there, mate, and it's totally true, because you didn't know, this was new, you didn't know what was out there. The people you were trusting were telling you, stay in, it's bad, and don't get me wrong, yes, time off work and all that, but that get very, very boring very, very quickly. Sorry being off your work, but see if you're being off your work, you can't get your house and there's nowhere open to go. Parks get boring, walking dogs get boring, buying that bike and a keg for your house, that gets boring and all, you know what I mean?
Unless you drink the keg and then tried to ride the bike.
Aye, but then unless you had a guy like me that didn't have the keg and just had Stevie's right across the road, do you know what I mean? And ended up with nigh on a drinking problem because of it. Fucking telling you, man.
See, that's kind of showed that as well. Let's see the wee lassie with the glasses. See that family? There's empty bottles left, right, and centre. Know what I mean? And I was like, this is fucking uncanny.
Aye, I noticed it myself, mate, because it's the big bottle of wine and the big empty bottles, the big bottles of beer in it, you know what I mean?
Aye.
And it's just the norm, that wee lassie's sitting there and she's got the bad eyes. Can't afford bloody eye operation because her man and dad are baby merchants. But that's brilliant, mate. But some of your kind of favourite quotes in it?
Oh, it's definitely V's one. People shouldn't be scared of the government. The government should be scared of the people, sort of thing. I was like, that's it, man! You fucking tell them, V! Up marching about the house. Yes!
I know. Marching about with your big stick. Oh, but and it's true. And I believe the government is scared of its people. That's why they keep us in a fucking need to know basis.
Aye.
Because if we knew what but they know quite sure there would be an uprising.
Aye.
It's horrible to say, right? And it's horrible to. I don't want it to happen, but I can see this happening sometime in the future. I can see a faction of people, a group of people becoming a movement, becoming an army, and just overthrown. Because I don't know when it's going to stop this. But we're living in the now. We're no Iraq, right? We're no bloody Somalia. We're no like that. But people are just raising taxes, raising prices, and there's just no excuse for it. There's just no reason for it. Can't do it anymore, man.
That's it. Just keeping the people down, man. But
then there's the vax thing. I mean, I called it way back when. I says, if we don't take this vaccine, we're not going to get let in here. We're not going to get to go there. And I was proved right. I don't take any pleasure in saying that, but so I did. I followed the herd and all that, had it. But see now, I think MD's going to yeah. Do you know what I mean? I know I'm opening up a can of worms here. I don't want to get political. I'm trying to reenact how this film is kind of based in our reality. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Another great scene was when she first meets him in the alley and he saves her for the secret police at the start. Who are you? He's like, who is but a form following the function of what I am is a man in a mask. Yes.
Aye.
I'm not telling any lies there.
Mate, see the lines he had to deliver, by the way. I wonder how many takes it took. Especially that at that part when he starts saying all the words that begin with V. It must have been horrible.
Been very difficult. Very vexing.
So that's your first day back at work and you go, the fuck have you wrote here?
It's not right for a German speaking English right enough. Where is the detonators?
You know what I actually found it was quite interesting about this as well. See, after they had done filming all this, you know, Hugo Weaving had to then re-deliver all his lines and they had to be dubbed into his scenes because when they filmed it, his voice was muffled because of the mask.
I was just going to say that. I would have thought it would have had to have just been in a sound booth and delivering them to the film in the first place because I would have been, who are you? Can we go again, Hugh? I mean,
Hugh, Shug.
Big Shug.
Big Shug. But I just see the way he just delivers the lines and all. It just shows you how good that guy is because I swore it would have been in that scene, but the fact he's obviously had to do it again and act it out in a booth was tremendous. Well, I thought so anyway.
Of course, that's the guy's obviously a wizard of his craft. You know what I mean? Kind of serious film if you look at it in that kind of way as we're doing, right? But obviously, there's good bits and comedy bits in it as well. There's a bit of action. I think the fighting scenes were smashing. The knife and sword play were great, weren't they, mate?
Aye. Especially the bit is at the old abandoned underground station. I was just smashing.
See, before that, I actually highlighted that in yellow. So that means get that mentioned, big man. I've wrote down there, V's pad is smashing.
Aye.
And the name for it's even better. Yes, my shadow gallery.
The shadow gallery. Oh.
It's just littered with Rembrandts, Jackson Pollocks, antiques, suits of armour. He's got the old Wurlitzer, blooming jukebox. Wow, it's brilliant. I live in there, man. That's brilliant.
Again.
Away for it up there.
I see that's the other thing as well. That he really doesn't even call them like the secret state or anything like that. He just calls them the censor. Know what I mean? And again, I was like, fucking hell, man. The censor. Know what I mean? Because as we all know, films are getting changed. Songs aren't getting played. Know what I mean? You're like, the fuck, man?
What do we call it? Cancel culture, innit?
Aye. But it's just, again, so on the nose. I was like, ah, fucking hell, man.
Aye. As I say, it's very visionary. And then you look at the premises of the story and think, well, it's just a different take on what was obviously happening 400 years ago. I know. For want of a better word, it's just happening in this century again. Or the last 2 centuries anyway. But as you say, mate, probably the most powerful tool in the world is the media, innit? It's probably everything that we're watching today. We've got that wee box in our hand. Just can tell you what to do, what to eat, what to think, what to want. Scary, man.
But the both the Natalie Portman committing her to getting her head shaved, and that was a one take shot.
To be, she was actually apparently she was looking forward to doing it as well, wasn't she?
Aye. Aye. Just like imagine that. Imagine. See the day we're gonna shave your head off. Fuck off.
Aye, but even weirder than that. Aye, so Natalie, how do you feel about shaving your head? You're kidding me on, aren't you? Do you know, I was just saying to my man last week, I'd love to shave my head. And you're serious? Aye. Can I do it? Aye. Because that's a part of what she says, but I've been wanting to do it for ages. How did you see Tank Girl and just think, oh yes.
Anakin, you're shaving my head.
Liar. Can you imagine that? A baldy Padme. Ooba. Ooba.
Oh dear. Aye, but aye, way to commit. I like stuff like that.
You're taking me down to a barber's I can't follow. Oh, I better not do any more of them.
Oh Jesus. Aye. But it's, again, way to commit to a part. Know what I mean? It's
Definitely.
good. Kudos to that.
A commitment. What about the dominoes?
Aye. See. I mean, it's a good visual, innit? But you see how long it took them to set that up?
That's what I mean for that. What, 7-8 second
Aye,
visual
know what I mean?
stimuli?
Aye.
You've got. I'll just read it out, mate. The domino scene where V tips over black and red dominoes from one giant letter V involved 22,000 dominoes. But even worse than that, it took four professional domino assemblers, right? 200 hours to set that up.
Aye.
That's ridiculous.
And see, when I read that last night, I just imagined, right? No kill the domino. I mean, what do you mean recording? What do you mean? Just they full domino guys like that. You bastard.
No. You've got to wonder how much the studio paid for that.
Oh.
I mean, my boys are autistic. They could have done it in half a day for a bag of lollipops. You know what I mean? Because they're big on the old lining up and assembling stuff. You know what I mean? Pure surgical. But aye, just a lot of work, a lot of time for one scene, man.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking, like, what have you been doing with your life? Like, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? It's just,
aye. You're kind of wondering what it.
That's a spare room in there.
Aye, is that part of your master plan? That was it? Is that what you were doing in your downtime? Do you know, V? I'm sorry, mate, but I much preferred the fire circle with the V in it. You know, and I've got to think that takes a lot less time and looks a bit better and gets your message across. Because you'd have to invite everybody in London down to your basement to see the domino thing. Ha ha! Look at my dominoes! Shuddering fear. Recoil! Recoil!
Recoil. Oh, Jesus. No, it's just that was went into my head, and I'm going like, who's that for? You know what I mean? I'm just like, don't get me wrong, it's impressive, but I was just like, who's that for? Oh.
So maybe it's just for him. Maybe it's just he gets his jollies off at that. Sitting there, he takes his glove off for that man. You know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
I'm going to flick my dominoes. So, talk about comedy things. I don't think it's meant to be funny, but I found it funny that the secret police were called the Fingermen.
Aye.
It's like a kind of 1960s British comedy skit or the backing band to a singer.
Aye.
Johnny Maloney and the Fingermen sing Flowers on the Hill. Oh, flowers on the hills of England.
See, I did do that as well, right? But there's a reason behind it.
Tell people.
Like, well, this whole organisation, they run it like a body sort of thing. So you the Supreme Chancellor, he was like the head. You that what was his name again? Him it was doing all the talking.
Plethoro.
Plethoro. He was like the voice of the body. And then these people, they were the fingers, know what I mean? And I'm just going.
He was an arsehole. He was a big smelly arsehole, that boy.
He was a creepy looking arsehole.
Aye. But do you know, to be honest with you, regards to the writer of the book who wrote this, that is very clever. That whole thing. Just when it gets to the part of my yeah, you're a finger. What? You're one of many fingers. So when I go there with Evey and John and Peter, what are we in? You're the fingerman. I don't like that, Gaffer. I've got to be honest with you, I've got wins. I'm not into that fingerman. You'll see if you want pied, Davey. You'll bloody just go with it, right?
Just like that. Well, it's either the fingermen or it's the Goochman. I'm mad for fingers, me. I've got a lot of time for fingers.
You are the perineum posse.
It
must be murder for the Waynes taking their dad to school that day. This is my father. My daddy is a fingerman. Oh, okay, Melissa, thank you. Sit down now. That's good.
See, and saying that, see the fingermen at the start of this film, obviously try to grab Evey. They just look no well. One of them looks right no well, man.
Do you know what it looks like? See the ghost on the train in Ghost?
Aye.
Get off of my train! I'm not supposed to be here. That's what it looks like. He doesn't look well at all.
I thought he looked like Tommy in Train Spotting before he died. I was like, the fuck's the matter with that boy?
Toxoplasmosis Tommy. Big plasmotam. Plasmotam. That sounds like a mad East Coast superhero. Aye. Recoil in fear, eh? Because I'm plasmotam like, eh? Telling you now, put that down, eh? You're going to jail. Feel my wrath. I'll give you cat piss disease, eh?
Plasmo man.
Just he's got a cat firing gun, just fires cats at you.
Squishy gun fault with a cat piss.
It's down there pumping it up.
Oh, how did we get here?
I don't know. Oh no. What's wrong, Davey? It's Plasmo man. Plasmo Tam. Come to get us. Robbing this bank, eh? Run, eh? Halt right there, eh? For I am Plasmotam with my gun of many pish, eh?
Oh. But aye, the
Aye,
fingermen.
the fingermen. Aye. So that's what that was. I mean, the Chancellor's the head, as you said. The television station BTN was the mouth. Visual and audio surveillance were the eyes and the ears. Inspector Finch was part of the nose. The police force and Katie's secret police were the hand. So the good thing about Finch, though, he's part of it. He's been part of. They call it the party, didn't they? Part of the party or government, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's been part of it for over 20 odd years, but he's starting to open his eyes and his ears as the film goes on, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's it. The detective instincts all kicking into it and stuff isn't making sense, and he's really finding out that the state has lied, isn't he? Know what I mean? And they're a greater evil. But it's just aye.
Because see, the thing is as well, see, for as prevalent as he is in the organisation and how long he's been in it, even he's been on a need to know basis as well, hasn't he?
Nah, that's it. It's all information controlled. Know what I mean? Just make him a wee helpful. Because let's see this thing as well. Like obviously they're trying to investigate.
Helpful, isn't it?
Aye, they're trying to investigate this hospital that happened. Know what I mean? And all the records are deleted. All these people have had their names changed and all that, and it turns out they're all high party members and stuff. And he just starts doing the Columbo thing. Just 1 second.
They're all activists, aren't they? They're
Aye.
all opposition political movements and factions, and they're also Edie's mother and father as well are in there. Everybody that would stand up and say no has been just
Elsewhere.
Concentration camp kind of esque. There's great visuals in this, quite harrowing visuals of what would only seem like a concentration camp for Nazi Germany when people are just getting killed and flung into big pits en masse, aren't they? Getting burnt and destroyed, man.
Just experimented on, not a nice place at all. Again, harking back to the whole COVID carry on. That was happening down in Australia, mate. People were getting, here, into that wee house in the middle of the desert or something like that. What?
Aye.
But I mean, mark your door with an X.
Really, mate?
Okay.
Well, I don't believe that for 1 minute, mate. Think you're talking shit there, mate. I still can't find my family, but I don't know if you're telling the truth.
Aye. But it was just, again, it was like a wake up moment for him, wasn't it? Finch, that anybody that opposes the state sort of thing goes away. So
you can tell that as well by the tone in which the High Chancellor starts speaking to him, telling him, just talking to him, talking at him. You'll do very well to remember that, Mr. Finch and all that. You know what I mean? To keep your mouth bloody shut.
Aye.
About the file, because he read the file, didn't he?
Aye. And as that when he's finding out all the
He's the only one, the doctor, for Lark Hill. V still kills her, but he's a bit more humane about it.
Aye. That's it.
And there's no reason to be. There's absolutely no reason to be.
No.
Because she's just as culpable as Plethoro and the Bishop and Creedy and every other one of them. In fact, judging, when it goes to that wee skit about reading through a report and it's like a diary in it, you can tell she's no moved emotionally about people dying, or she just refers to it as her work, doesn't she?
Yep, that's it. She even goes on to say stuff like, I find myself hating these people. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh. So I never understood why he did go so lenient with her. You know what I mean? Because the Bishop in that, he puts the fear of God and all that in him, you know what I mean? Where it's just like a nice wee gentle conversation he has with her. But don't know.
Can I give you this rose? Yes. Are you going to kill me now? I actually killed you 2 minutes ago by putting that poison in your tea. Thank you. She even says thank you, and he's like, "Oh, you're very welcome." Very British, isn't it?
Aye.
Are you going to kill me now? When I've humanely put poison in your tea. You won't feel a thing. It'll be like going to sleep. Thank you very much. And I do mean that. Thank you.
Oh, rather. Splendid.
Shall I be feeling any pain? None at all. Jolly good. Pip pip. Oh,
But
scone. Would you like a scone?
But see the parts they done in London as well. Like again, like all the cast and crew had to go through background checks. See, because of the places where they were filming, like Downing Street, because they got special permission to shut like Downing Street and that down. And
That's
everybody,
interesting. I never knew that. I thought it was just a set. Know what I mean?
no, they get special permission. They had to like hours between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. That's all they could get to film. Know what I mean? It was, but everybody had to get background checks, cast, crew, the whole shebang. Every weapon had to be registered to a specific person. Know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because it was just that area's just that sensitive to potential terror attacks and stuff. Like
I just assumed that it was a set because I can imagine them going to ask for permission for something like that. What's the film about? It's about the government being kind of tyrants. Oh, I just use the front there. Fuck off. No, it's not happening. Aye, very interesting. Very
I think
interesting indeed.
apparently they had to go through like 10 or 12 government agencies to get permission. Know what I mean? And then, in fact, that was another thing. See, like the final scene, like the march on Westminster,
Yeah.
and they've got these like tanks in the streets. They were checked every single day to make sure they hadn't been weaponized. They were
My little
decommissioned
thing.
tanks. Aye, know what I mean? So every day somebody would come in and check it. Like, all right, you can charge on. That's just a big paperweight.
What the hell? I can imagine, man. Jesus Christ. So, because that's the whole plan B's go to the end and all that. It's thought of every eventuality, hinting about the masks and people finally uprising, all wearing them and stuff like that. But obviously, it takes the death of that wee lassie
Aye.
for the people just to say that's it. That's the litmus paper. Do you know what I mean? Let's go. And the rioting starts, doesn't it?
Aye. I like much like real life, mate. It takes something very atrocious to kickstart people. And that's what it was. Know what I mean? But
What do you think of V's plan at the end? The subway and bomb and all that.
What? But
No.
obviously, you're seeing how bad things are. Know what I mean? If like the High Chancellor doesn't like music, that music's not allowed to be played and all that anymore. Know what I mean? People obviously it's alluded to that you're not getting to see films in that anymore, like the Count of Monte Cristo, see stuff like that because Eve hadn't seen it. So I'm all for him doing it because it's just what a way is that to live? Know what I mean? It's just not right.
I mean, all leading up to it, right? We're going back again on myself. Well, I'm going back myself because I jumped the gun there. But Evey seeks solace in Dietrich's house, which is Stephen Fry's, right? So Stephen Fry turns out is a big activist in the shadows because he's a public figure and stuff like that. He confides in Evey. There's a good bit in this when she wakes up in his house and he's making her the same breakfast as V, and he says the exact same thing to her when she gets up in the morning.
Aye.
And she looks good. Was it morning, Monshelley or something like that?
Aye.
She just does that and looks, but doesn't embellish on it. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was one for the audience to go, whoa, is that V? Stephen Fry, the V man. You know what I mean?
Aye.
But he very quickly, to get her own side, shows her his chamber of secrets, doesn't he?
Aye. Aye. It's all a banned artifacts, obviously, like the Quran and stuff and all that. But then it's like, turns out that he's actually gay. Know what I mean? And all that's been banned as well. So there's no, you're told apart. And again, another thing that I didn't really notice, right? until doing this. Do you know, like, there's nae, like, black people or like any other kind of colour apart from white in the whole film? Apart from when it's like, obviously it's showing you the flashback of people getting taken away and stuff. And then at the end, when they all start lifting up the anonymous masks, that's when you start seeing different coloured people. And you're going like that. So they just, across the board, if you didn't agree with anything, if you weren't white, you're away and all. You know what I mean? So it's just, again, another thing I hadn't noticed. I was like, oh, here.
It's just another Hitler box ticked in it. Do you know what I mean? Religion, colour, race, creed. It's a poignant film, man. It really is. So another good thing I liked as well. Don't know if you got this written down your trivia. There's names mentioned in this for people, characters, and a few of them were Rockwood, Percy, and Keyes. They're used in the film as names, but they're also the names of 3 of the gunpowder conspirators 400 years ago, which is quite good. They kind of weaked that into the story.
There you go.
I like that.
Because that's apparently another thing as well. See, in every scene in the film, there's apparently a V in every shot, and they try to get it in, like wee tiny Easter eggs.
All right. Or V-Easter eggs.
V-Easter eggs.
V-Easter eggs.
Oh, man.
Which you can actually hear that pronounced in shops in Glasgow. V-Easter eggs. No bother.
But
that's really good, man.
But we've kind of already went over this and all that, but would you say the film has aged well?
100%. It's aged better, actually.
Aye.
It would be more prevalent if it came out in the cinema last week than it would in 2005. Because today, as I say, post-COVID, we've never been more aware of conspiracy theorists and theories as we have today. Really, have we?
Yeah. Exactly, mate. It's just, that was exactly my thoughts. Just, there's too many similarities now, know what I mean? Like I says, me the other night, go like, oh, here, I've seen this. I've seen it in real life.
Exactly. And do you know what it is as well? I think the vast majority are starting to question every single thing today as well, whereas 19 years ago, you're probably more inclined to go, don't be stupid. You know what I mean? They want to do that. People want to do that. But you're more aware to the possibility of everybody doing something to better their own wee garden, you know what I mean? To make their life better at the expense of you. In some cases, they even go as far as to say some family and friends would shit on you to get ahead in the ladder, you know what I mean? It's just horrible to say, but world's a very selfish place.
Aye, very selfish. But have you got a favourite scene in the film?
Yes. Just before the subway, when it's the whole V's agreed with Creedy, right? V's made a bargain with Creedy. He says, look, kill the High Chancellor and I'll give myself in. And Creedy's moustache twirling, loves this. So when they eventually do, he kills the Chancellor and Creedy says to him, move the mask. And he goes like, no, mate. No. See what I just told you there? That was a lie. I'm not giving myself in. But V's in an impossible situation. He's surrounded by guns, Creedy and all his guns. A bevy of fingermen. And he's just still, that whole scene, he's getting shot at, still doing the knife thing, kills them all, but he's mortally wounded. It's a brilliant scene, choreography wise. And then Evey comes and declares he loves her, and she puts him on the subway and all that. So I think that's brilliant, mate. But there's a lot to pick for. There really is a lot to pick for, even the whole. Well, I'll let you go, mate. What's yours in case I kind of
Hey,
burst your bubble?
For me, it's obviously when Evie's in her wee jail cell and she finds this
So I'm
woman's
gonna
story,
say-
you know what I mean? It's superb, mate. And then that's where you find this is all Evie's motivation. Know what I mean? This woman, it's a complete stranger, inspired this movement with him, know what I mean? And it's just the take home message is you need to be you, know what I mean? You need to exist. It's
I mean, seeing that the what's the word I'm looking for? By the tie in to the actual story, it's letting you know that V was actually in the cell next to this woman, whose name was Valerie, wasn't it? If I remember right. And that was his motivation as well as his own. But for the guy that wrote this book, for him to put that in there, it's beautifully written because it just takes you away for the film, doesn't it? To another time in the past, and it's so good, man.
And again, it's just showing you how things can go downhill very quickly. Know what I mean? Like she's telling it from her perspective, like bad things were happening, and then words were being used, and then anybody that was different was taken away. Know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, this isn't good. Know what I mean? But it's just the way it ends, like I'll never meet you, I'll never know you, whatever, and all that, but I love you with all my heart, sort of thing. Know what I mean? And you're going, see, there's a bit of hope for the people.
God bless that lefty bitch.
Know what I mean?
That's beautiful because you're right, mate. Portman's reaction to reading a slither of paper, their tears and all that, and emotion. You feel it for her, don't you? It's great.
And it's like the whole thing, isn't it? That it switches her for living like a kind of docile life that she's been living, sort of thing. Know what I mean? To she is then like V. Know what I mean? Like they can date to this person, sort of thing, and all that. I don't care anymore. Know what I mean? You're not taking this away from me, sort of thing. And then,
which was why V done it to remove fear for Edie's existence, because she says very early on at the fact, like when he asks about his mother and father, she went, they were activists, they spoke up, they were brave. I'm no brave. I can't do that. I wish I could. I wish I could be like you. Do you know what I mean?
aye.
And then after the cops sees Dietrich's house with Evey in it, he obviously just gets in there and gets Evey under the guise of being a finger man. It's great. It's absolutely great. Obviously, she's a bit initially pissed at him when he reveals, ta-da! Surprise!
I know. Yeah, could you imagine that in like a Saw film? We need you to cut your foot off to get out of here, lads. Next time he cuts it off and he comes in with a bottle of wine, like, fucking kidding you on. Oh, I'm going to be sick.
Oh, Davey. Oh, how did you even do that? That's Saw's rubber.
The wee guy's lying there with one foot off that. But you said to me, you want to play a game? For fuck's sake, Davey.
Oh. But even though she's initially pissed off, she very quickly comes around to the fact that he done it for her own good. And then just before it all kicks off, they have a romantic dance, don't they?
Aye. And another thing that was quite good as well at that bit, see when he shows her the shrine to this woman. Know what I mean? Like, because she was in a film and all this stuff, and she's like, oh, she did exist. Know what I mean? And you're like, I'm a boy.
Yo.
That's what the roses coming into it. Because this woman's partner would grow roses for her, keep the roses. Know what I mean? And you're just like,
she loved a flower, the lassie. Roasted.
But
aye, it was anything in the film you really didn't. You thought was daft, or apart from the dominoes.
it would just be the dominoes, mate. Because like, everything else had to be the way it was for it to make sense, sort of thing. Know what I mean? gone for like, see the people in the hussies and all that, they're all just docile and they just eat up this shit, know what I mean? That was obviously to portray a nation that was asleep. But nah, I would say that would be it, really, aye.
I'm ashamed,
Maybe
mate.
change
I
the
don't
finger, man.
Aye. I don't think there's anything in it that isn't poignant or of need. It's quite funny. I watched it last night and taking the notes. I've realised a lot more than I did having watched it throughout the years. But then again, talking about it with you, I've realised even more again just about how totalitarianism esque it is, and it's close to the bone, man. It must have been a hard watch for a lot of people, especially with history of maybe being Jewish and stuff like that, and or coming from a war-torn country, because they don't leave it off the table. Very concentration camps, testing, mass bodies, genocide, rounding up a people, just getting told what to do, what you can't do, and it's
Propaganda. Everything under the sun.
it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just an amazing film. So it is, and again, it was obviously helped by the actors that they picked, and there's not a lot of differentiation for the book I know apparently as well. It's very, very bang on.
Aye. I think, see, the guy that created us, something I done the comic book or something along the lines, he didn't want to take anything to deal with or something, because the one thing they changed was, I think it was more anarchy based instead of freedom based. Know what I mean? Which I think kind of helps the film. Know what I mean? Because he was just a guy going, I just want chaos. I think it takes away from the fact, right, why am I supposed to root for this guy then? Know what I mean?
Exactly. Because you need to root for a guy. If he's about a guy who just wants to watch the world burn, then you've got the Joker. You've got he's not doing it for any level of goodness. He's just doing it because he wants to fucking do it. But it's great. I was very surprised at being DC. I never remembered it being a DC thing. Neither I did. I don't know why. I don't remember it. But when it flashed up again the other night, I was like, DC,
Aye. Oh, so it's no Batman and it's no Superman. All right, aye.
I know. Strange. But that was very, very good. What is your marks out of 10, mate?
I'll get a 9.
Once again, we concur. Honestly, that's on my gig. I checked it. My now that IMDb.
Oh, it's good battle, this.
Because I thought I remembered putting in an 8 and I was going to change it to a 9, but it was a 9, so I was quite chuffed with it. Great film. And depending on which side of the fence I suppose you stand on is what you're going to gravitate towards with this film. You're either going to like it, you're going to, oh no, rubbish, poppycock, that shit doesn't happen, that's a fabrication of the truth and all that. But again, I would argue that the majority of us have our eyes opened more than we did in 2005, that's for sure. Any Glaswegianisms for it?
V for Vendetta.
Bastard.
What? Is that what you were going to do?
Aye. I wasn't going to say V for Vienna, I was just going to say Vendetta. Then I was going to sing. It means nothing to me. Was Vendetta. I'm just going to call thinking my feet now. 5. Because it's a Roman numeral, and that was the number of the cell he was in. I don't know why British cells have got Roman numerals on the bloody doors, but Lark Hall looked absolutely massive, but there was only 5 cells in the place, you know.
Soon I kept seeing it and all pop up, I'm going like that. Lark, is that Lark Hill or Lark Hall?
Aye. I can imagine that could be quite a dangerous place on occasion. But good songs and good songs. Dangerous to be in there, but the tunes are lovely, and the pavements are absolutely smashing looking from my point of view. So there we go, folks. That was V for Vendetta. If you have never seen this film, I would strongly urge you to get it watched, man. It's great. I think it's on Prime now, or it's done that usual thing that it's free on Prime, right? But see if I had it watched for this, right? This is a true thing. If you've got Amazon Prime and you add something to your list that's free to watch, I bet you £1,000 in a day or two it'll be rent or buy, no matter what it is. I'm telling you, see if you don't put that in your list and watch it in the next 2 days, they're going to charge you for it. Telling you.
Big Brother's always watching.
There you go. So I mean, if you've got your eyes open to the world and the way it is today, and what you're trying to be forced in your gullet, get this film watched, man. You're laughing at.
I just imagined Big Brother, look, the mad woman at the steamy. See him over there? Oh, it's him last night. Dirty bastard. Just knowing everybody's business. Just like that. See him? Doesn't do a lash until Thursday. Like, how the fuck do you know that?
Aye, she was it again last night on the rundown. How do you know? Because that dress was hanging up at the back. That pic, aye, that one. And you know what happens when that goes on? Oh, anyway, she thought about washing she's going out, right? It's bitterly cold here today and it's windy. So my neighbours put a washing it to dry. And with my fair-in-law's like, she went, she always puts a washing it, didn't she? I went, aye. But that'll no dry. And I went, I know. In fact, if there's a chill in the air overnight, they'll be solid in the morning. I don't think the wind dries your clothes, people. It doesn't. It just makes them cold and wet. Do you know what I mean?
Mate. Oh, that just popped into my head there. No, we're imagining Big Brother, and it's always like you expect it like Skynet or something like that. Know what I mean? But it's just Mad Agnes like, see you, trying to watch that film for free, £4.
Rent or buy, £3.99. If you want tip, £7. No, you're all right, mate. What have you been watching this week, mate? I'll tell the people what you went to see, what gig you went to see, and I'll tell them what gig I went to see.
Oh, I went to the Chemical Brothers there, and it was all smashing in there. The lights, you know what I mean? It had all the flashing lights and all the big lasers, and they had big bouncy balls there. You see, they put them into the crowd there.
So it was like a Jean-Michel Jarre and Coldplay concert morphed into one.
Aye, it was smashing. I've got a lot of time for the Chemical Brothers.
I've seen the videos, mate. I've seen your videos. I've seen a couple of pals' videos and all. It looked visually stunning. The laser show looked amazing, man.
I always put on a show. I like the music anyway. Just the light show is just an added bonus. Know what I mean?
It's quite good that you like the music, mate.
Aye,
it's a bonus.
I'll tell you right now, I don't appreciate that noise coming out of that speaker.
Oh, you turn that down, boy. Up to the sound desk. You turn that down, mate. There's your master switch. Get that down, please.
Oh, Jesus.
So well worth the money then, aye?
Oh, aye, mate. Every time the Chemical Brothers are in town, I'll go see them. Again, the first time I went to see them, it was doing Creamfields, and it was an experience. You know what I mean? I was wearing a sombrero. I can tell you what happened to Creamfields, you know what I mean? But next time, I've hit a badge and I'm looking at the flare, trying not to enter a different dimension. And I looked up and there was big robots shooting fucking lasers at their eyes. I'm like that. Jesus.
I went for a bath. There was freaking sharks with freaking laser beams in their head.
Oh.
Scary-doo.
Well, who did you go see?
I went to see a man that was that's been dead 46 years. I went to Elvis in concert with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, and it was obviously the big man himself. He's on drop screens that came down and all that above the orchestra, and it's some of the best live shows I've ever done, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, man. Just the sound and the amazing, because there was bits in it as well. There was a tribute to his daughter. There was a speech by, what's her name? Naked Gun, his wife.
Oh, Priscilla.
Oh, aye, that been. She spoke, and they showed unseen footage for home videos and all that. It was amazing. And then there was a good bit of his best pal talking about Graceland and all that kind of stuff. That was great. People were all standing up, getting at yeehaw and all that. It was great. I strongly recommend it. I was at my work next day. I was doing the Windies at 30 block, as you know, the biggest ones. And I had the concerts on in my ears and all that. Doing the Windies. Lord Almighty, I feel the temperature rising. All the ethics, not all the ethics. All the tenants start pure looking at me. He's happy at his work. Look at him. Big fat person, he's bald, he's got a white beard and he's awfully chirpy. What's your secret there, sir? Oh, let's see Elvis Presley. So there was that, mate. But television-wise, as you know, I started House MD. I've even got my own theme tune to it as well, because the theme tune to it's rotten. It's just wow. And I'm like, diddle-a-did-da-da, House, diddle-a-did-da-da, House, diddle-a-did-da-da. And it's Hugh Laurie, and it's great. I've always remember seeing a couple of episodes back in the day and thinking that'd be good, watch that. And then I noticed it was on Prime for nothing. I've started it, and it's great. Patter's great, characters are great. Yeah. The great and the good, the American telly's in it, man. Miles Dyson's been in it.
Aye.
Herfey 24's been in it. There's been other ones, I just fail to remember who, but all these obscure and weird diseases. And somebody takes a fit every episode. He's fitting. Oh, intubate him. Put that big jaggy thing down their throat and all that. Everybody fits. So I stick with that anyway, mate.
Everybody
You can
fits.
recommend.
Everybody fits.
Yeah. And a lot of people have got cancer in it, but then they get, they come in there with an illness, right? Whatever illness it is, and they get a drug to treat that illness. Then they take an allergic reaction to that drug, and then they find another illness underlying. There's, by the way, you'll never believe the amount of tumours that are hide and seek champions. Hello, I'm a tumour. Count to 10, never find me again. But it was it's great. It's absolutely great. There was a horrible one about a wee lassie who was 9 and terminal cancer, but she wanted to survive another year, even though she knew she was dying. It's fucking harrowing stuff, that.
Aye. Tear to a glass eye, that.
Aye.
Aye. Oh,
just like Columbo.
And another thing. But I've been a wee bit. Aye, no, I'll wait to see. Is it Five Nights at Freddy's or something?
What was that? I heard it got a bad write up. There was a
Aye,
boxing match at the first one.
Aye,
The
mate,
premiere in America.
mate, that's the whole thing. I went, oh, there's a fight at that. There must be something to fight about. And I now reckon that they boys are attacking the guy that suggested to go see it. So I'm like, is this a horror? Is it what is it? Know what I mean? It was just a thing. It was just.
I just seen it appearing on Twitter, and I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it was a computer game or something.
I think it was a horror game or something, but
Was it big mad teddy bear things?
Aye, big robotic things that they've got. I don't want to spoil it for people, but they go out and walk about and they do people in. Know what I mean? But
partly you're no spoiling it. It's a lot of shite.
But I was like, I'm going, come on, man, what the? it's supposed to be a horror, and it didn't seem horror-like to me. Know what I mean? It was just wasn't going to be. It's not. I mean, it's just like that. Sitting there waiting for something to happen, it just didn't happen. But along with that, I'm still rattling Supernatural. I think I'm going into the 5th season of that or something now.
Jesus, Jack.
Aye.
Many
Things
is
are
it?
15? 15 or 16.
15.
It's
There was no far off it there.
it's a long way to go. But aye. But what's next week's film of choice?
Will we tell the people? We've
Aye,
already picked it.
Aye, because the guessing game was a fucking rousing success.
Well, diabolical, well done. One of you's guessed it on your Instagram. Who I know not, because it just says diabolical, just like it says what's the script on Instagram, and it's me that does it. But well done, guys. You just guessed it this week, so give your rest, give your brains a rest this week. I want to do The Dark Knight next week.
Oh, that's a smashing film, that.
There's a smashing film. I only thought about it. I thought, aye, we're doing that, and then I remembered we've done. This is probably my 3rd Batman, because we've done Batman Begins, the 2nd episode ever, and then we done. Well, can you count Batman and Robin?
So we can
Arnold
count
Schwarzenegger.
it. Exists. We'll count it.
It's on record. You can't shy away from that, boys. That's horrendous, man. Bat nipples. So I made The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, Christopher Nolan, and Christian Bale. All the goodness, mate. All the goodness.
One of my top 10, that.
The noise of that bat bike. Just fucking...
Right
on,
into
do it. I want you to do it. Come on.
Right into the French horns again.
It's don't want to get too into it. It's just the best one, man. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Just as it's got the best dialogue, best action. Even goes to Japan, for Christ's sake.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Or somewhere like that. One of the Asian countries. So we're doing that next week, mate. That's our penultimate episode of Series 3. And then we usually kind of collab for the last one, didn't we?
Aye.
Get our heads together.
Aye.
But we'll think about that when the time comes.
Aye. The same process as the last time there. Chuck in films and then we'll see one's match, sort of thing.
Aye. No bother. There's one of your ones you've not done in 76 episodes, which I know you're going to want today, but you keep forgetting about it. I'll suggest to you, but we'll talk about that. In the meantime, folks, again, thanks very much for tuning in. We've got a healthy response again this week, especially on the YouTube, which we're always loving. This will be out again on Wednesday, because we're recording this on Monday morning. And set your bells to Malky so that you can get alerted. You can go, oh, there's the 2 big smashing good looking baldy bearded cats. Hardly swore this week, I just ruined it there. I said a couple of wee sweary words, but I just left the big Glaswegian 4-letter C word to the end there. Sorry, folks, I do apologise. If I knew how to bleep, I'd bleep it out, but I'm not going to. Who cares? If we can get a minute in the day, Seismic, I promise we'll sort something. It's just, see that 9 o'clock at night nonsense, especially after a 12-hour shift. Plus, I'm lucky to get my boys done before 9 o'clock these days. They're dynamos, man. Plus, the clocks went back and all that jazz. But hey ho, I'm off to make a cup of coffee. And thanks very much for listening.
Yes. Cheers and thanks and cheery bye.
Cheery bye.
I'll be the last one left when the lights go out. I'm down to one last breath, but I can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiotic, just a product of a system where you're lucky just to